Malcolm Gladwell made the 10,000 hour rule famous, but the scientist behind the study, Anders Ericsson, argued that time alone isn't enough. It requires deliberate practice, focusing on the right inputs to become a genuine expert in your field. In this business, your deliberate practice starts with a PhD in the niche. We're skipping the 10,000 hours of guessing and going straight to the source. Your campus isn't a classroom, it's the YouTube comments, the Reddit threads, and the forums where your customers are already screaming their problems for free. Today, we're going to learn how to see the world through their lens before you ever launch a product. Stop studying the textbook and start eavesdropping on the market. I'm Will. This is Servant CEO. Let's get into it. All right, we are back. This is chapter 2, week 2 on the Customer First Business. We are breaking out Customer First Business into 11 months worth of video content here each week, focusing on a different segment from each chapter. So if you've been watching along, thank you for watching along. If you're new here, welcome. Again, I'm Will Owen, founder of JetBoat Pilot, and I've been doing this now for this channel just for a little while, but business since 2010, since JetBoat Pilot started, and are really super proud of what we've done over the years. If you don't know our story, check out jetboatpilot.com. Find us on YouTube. You'll learn a lot more about us. Let's talk about this idea of being a genuine expert or an expert in your field. It's really critical if you're going to build a business that what you do, you are the best in the world at that thing, that you are a legitimate, genuine expert, not an expert in your own mind, but an expert by the opinion of your peers, by your customers, that they see you in that light. It takes, according to the specialists I mentioned earlier, Anders Ericsson for one, or Malcolm Gladwell, it takes about 10,000 hours of genuine practice in your niche or in your field to be considered a real expert, to build that skill to the point where you're considered an expert. Some say it's 5 to 10 years, depending on the industry. Bottom line is, it takes a long time to develop something to such a degree that you have genuine expertise in that thing. And it's important for you to get that up front before you go out and begin to endeavor to be that business that is going to serve that niche. In the early days, before I ever really had a thought of building a business, I kind of stumbled into this space that I'm in today through working at a power sports dealership. I was selling boats, I was selling personal watercraft. And I found that in the off months, those months from like September through February, it got very slow around the dealership. My only job was to sell boats and personal watercraft, so there wasn't a lot going on for me. I had to find something to pass the time. I found that going into these new places, which then were new, they're not new today, but in those days, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, all these things that are kind of common today, TikTok, those places didn't really exist or were just kind of getting started. And so there was no playbook for this. I just kind of happened upon it and began to learn, hey, this is a great place to go and learn information. I began to hang out in these chat groups. I began to daily go into these places where people that loved the same thing I loved all hung out and chatted about whatever. It didn't really matter. Some topics I knew nothing about, and some topics that I was already kind of an expert in. I remember learning about 3D printing first through those forums and chat groups. I remember learning about low-speed steering and how people shared the same frustration I had, even back then. Hearing so many people talk about it, it was kind of like, wow, I'm not the only one. This must be something that should be talked about or maybe worked on. Listening to people talk about various boating scenarios from all over the world, all different lakes, different types of boats and different kinds of water and different kinds of problems, whether they're electrical problems or if they're fiberglass problems, if they're jet pump related or engine related or any number of scenarios. Bottom line, spending time in these places, I got a chance to witness the back and forth between the guy that was asking the question and the different responses that were coming from various people that would chime in. Occasionally you get people that knew what they were talking about. And quite often you get people that had no business being in a chat group. And you learn how to sift through that stuff. You just kind of eat the fish and spit out the bones. I would do that. I would go through, I'd find the ones that were reputable, that had been there for a little while, or maybe just what they said made a lot of sense, and kind of file that away in the back of my mind for future use. And after doing that for many years, I began to realize, wow, I've got something kind of powerful here. I was not calling myself an expert at that time. Even to this day, I don't like to call myself an expert. However, there are people out there that began to say it, began to say that Will Owen is the expert in this particular subject or whatever. So that expertise, it led to people seeing me as someone who was trustworthy. Building that expertise across time inside of these social places, it built a huge amount of equity in the brand of Will Owen, and ultimately the brand of Jet Boat Pilot. Back in those days, it wasn't Jet Boat Pilot yet. It was just still me selling boats at a dealership, but really primarily just helping people with information online and these chat groups and forums and things. What I'm trying to say through all of this, you really get one key message out of this, is spend time with what you're doing, whatever your niche may be, whatever your passion may be. Spend time in that for a considerable amount of time before you start your business. Develop the genuine expertise. If you do it the way we did it, which is the way I'm recommending for this book, all throughout the book is to get into those forums, get into those chat groups, and begin to share the information that you already know with those people in the forum for free, in that chat group for free. Give the information away. Don't charge a penny for it. Never ask for $1. Don't ask for a subscription. Don't ask for anything in return. Your goal is to simply get in, listen, learn, help where you can. And when it's all said and done, after you've been doing it for several years, you will have genuinely built a true expertise that you're going to need. There's no way around the 10,000 hour rule or the 5 years. But I think you can accelerate that 5 years by listening to others and learning from others' experiences. You're going to supercharge your own experience and probably blast past a lot of your competitors who maybe haven't had that same insight. So anyway, I think that's all for today's segment. I want to know what you think. Have you got an idea that you've been kind of pondering? Have you got a niche that you've studied in and are looking for a little more context about? Love to chat with you about it in the comments below. Just chat below and I'd be glad to reach out to you. If you like this content, if it's helping you in any way at all, do me a favor. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Share this with your friends. It's super helpful for us to get this word out here. This is a young fledgling channel. We're trying to get off the ground. Your shares and your talking about it's really going to go a long way to helping other people find what they need. Ultimately, that's our goal, is to help people to be successful in business. The book, once again, servantceo.com. You can find the book there. It's on Amazon. You can find it paperback, audiobook, as well as the Kindle. As always, we really greatly appreciate you watching this video. And by the way, if you like this one, check this one out.